He knew I was around. It was
Yep.
just uncomfortable with me. It's
Exactly.
like I don't know if I even want to show that guy.
Yeah.
Demonetize. Oh, it's John. Demonetize.
After you cheated on me yesterday with Bite My Bits,
I
I'm not sure I wanted you on
I
either.
only talked to him a little bit.
Welcome to Talking Heads, everyone. Episode 148, your once weekly live show for the latest in beer and tech news. I'm Jeff.
I'm John.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on this Wednesday night, or listening to us in podcast form over on Anchor FM or wherever your fine podcasts are found. If you've never seen the show before, we talk beer, we talk tech, we talk pop culture, games, entertainment, usually Star Trek. We do drink alcohol in the show. However, this is a family-friendly show in both language and content. All super chats are read on the air, so long as they meet those family-friendly guidelines. If you want to join the super secret chat, join the Patreon. Link is down in the video description below. You'll get exclusive access to the Discord server where you can chat with myself and all the other hosts from Talking Heads, and join our super cool after party every Wednesday night after Talking Heads.
Yes, sir.
And if you're drinking along with us, alcoholic or not, let us know in the chat and we'll give some early show shoutouts here. Getting better at that. It's only taken 148 episodes.
I was going to say, like, it was pretty smooth, but last week's was, like, it really
Last week's
felt like
was
you were...
money.
It was money. I was like, if you could just somehow take that sip and hit, all right, go, every time
Right.
it just plays, it's perfect.
Jeff is still technically not late as he set the stream time for 8:05, so we are actually right on time.
Perfect. See, I don't disappoint the fans.
That's right. Oh, welcome to the show, everyone. So glad you could join us. Let's see. Early shout out to Fenchek, who is drinking a Sam Adams Utopia.
What? Where was that?
Early
What?
in the chat. Like the second or third thing in the chat today.
I want proof.
Yeah.
I want proof of that.
Well, he's in the Discord now, so Fenchek, I want a picture of that bottle on the Discord now.
Yeah. I don't believe you.
I said, dang, all I have is a $10 lager tonight.
Oh, I have not a $10 lager, but I have a 10.2% ale.
Ah.
So it's been one of those days.
It's pretty much the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going with the most expensive lager I've ever bought. It's a $10 lager, which is probably $8.50 more than I've ever paid for a lager before.
Yeah.
And then I was going back and forth. Do I want to drink 2 beers, or do I want to drink like a heavy beer, like open an Avery or a barley wine, or
Yeah, something
something
big.
like that, something
I'll
big.
sip on.
We'll see how the show goes. Novella Hub's got a Great Notion Juice Jr.
Yeah, I saw that.
Excellent.
I think he got that on Tavor.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Starbuck Tech Hazy Little Thing IPA. Glenfiddich 14 for Andrew. Excellent. Did you get the Bourbon Reserve Glenfiddich 14? Because that's what I've got on my shelf right now. All right. Lagunitas Daytime IPA. All right. Pretty good lineup tonight. John, what are you drinking?
yeah. I will be drinking one of my newer favorite breweries. It is Nightmare Breweries. They do some pretty interesting can art. Mancurda. Usually they do some pretty horrific, medieval, very graphic can art.
Did
And
Deadpool
they
draw
did
that
like,
one?
Kind of, yeah. It looks like the inspirational drawing.
It looks like the sticky notes in the credit sequence for Deadpool.
Yeah. So, but it is a double pale ale with Galaxy Comet and Polaris hops, 10.2%.
I don't know that I've ever had Polaris hops.
I don't know if I ever had Polaris. Nightmare is very similar to me with Anchorage. I don't even look at what style it is. I just buy it.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't even look at what percentage it was. I just bought it, and I bought 2 of them. And I was like, whoa, this is a 10% plus beer. That's a big boy.
And sorry, when John's full screen tonight, I can't get rid of his little thing on the side there. So you get double vision of John when he's on full.
Oh, hey, yeah. Double the pleasure, double the fun. Double hops and brews time. You're trying to get rid of it, aren't you?
I am. I'm fighting with it. Oh, yeah. John, how do you like the new camera tonight? Because I'm actually feeding him my OBS stream instead of a webcam tonight.
Oh, you are?
Yeah. So when I go to the webpage, you'll actually be able to see what I'm showing people.
Hey!
Yeah, look at that. All right. As I mentioned, I am drinking a $10 lager, and it says lager nice and big on it. This is from Ale Apocryphy. This is a wild ale brewed with honey and aged in oak barrels, 6.5%.
Oh, I will guarantee you that's not going to taste like any lager you are used to.
And that's why I bought it. I'm not one who goes out and buys lagers, and John and I have talked about this a couple of times, because when you go and look at like a craft lager and they're selling them for $6, $7, $8 for a pint, and then you look next to it and you're like, well, that's a dragon's milk. Like,
yeah.
I can get a 12, 13% pretty good stout for pretty much the same money. Why am I going to buy a 6% that tastes like almost every other lager I've ever had?
Yeah, not even that. It's probably like 4.5%.
And I'm sure they're good, but
yeah, you know,
right.
I mean, okay.
It's the principle of the thing.
It's the principle. I will be one and done with that dragon's milk.
Yeah.
I'm going to probably have to drink 3 of these.
Right. And I mean, it's a heavy-hitting lager at 6.5, but...
Yeah, but in comparison to like, yeah. Now see, mine, 10.2%, I only paid $4.95 for this.
Yeah.
So...
That's amazing for that.
Yeah. All right. I guess since this is the first glass that's just in front of me, I'm pretty sure it's dirty. Whatever. I don't care.
Wouldn't be the first time I've used a dirty glass on the show. Shh.
This is how I cheat, by using a bigger glass.
Yeah. See, mine is 1.9 or 1.9 ounce, so I'm not going to fit the whole thing in here.
Ooh, that smells really good.
This is definitely a wild fermentation ale.
Yes,
it's all of that.
is known.
Yeah,
is known for their sours.
Yep.
Now a lager is just that it's bottom fermented yeast, and cold. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's a lager. You know, the Budweiser lagers.
Right.
Yeah.
Jeff wins the Untapped game tonight. Oh, and Fenchik says he did post his Utopia pick. So I'm gonna open that up right now because I want to see.
Yeah, I don't believe it.
Where'd you go, John? What the heck?
Me? What happened? What did I do?
I don't know. I opened Discord in a different window and it took over the. John? There he goes. Yeah, there you are.
I didn't do anything.
Okay, so
was it you?
Yeah. So since so Zoom crapped out on us tonight. Zoom was having some issues and was saying I was running 2 meetings at once, and so John would join the meeting and it says, "Oh, Kraft is opening a meeting up," and then I would join the meeting and it says, "You already have a meeting going on." It's like, no, it's my account. John's in my meeting using my link. Yes. And so we had to switch over to Discord at the last minute. But I tried to open Discord in another window so I could read or see the picture, and it took over the video chat.
I don't see any Utopia, although I only looked in the Talking Heads and 10 Forward. So I'm not seeing it.
It might be just under Craft Computing.
Yeah.
The main page.
Jump to present. I see a Nintendo.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, no.
Okay, we'll follow up later.
All right, we'll find out. Tell us what channel you put it on. Oh wait, now I can't see you. That's weird. I mean, who needs to see you? But whatever. I can hear you. Huh, well, whatever. As long as everyone can see me.
Yep. All right. Let's get into our top story tonight, which is, I don't know. Did anyone announce anything this week?
Stone got a new CEO.
Oh, that's right. The old Lagunitas brewmaster, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. That's the beer news, guys.
There you go.
Timestamped it right now. All right, now tech news.
Tech news. That's the fastest we've ever been out of beer news, and we're still 15 minutes into it. Anyway, Nvidia, obviously the big story of the week, announcing the RTX 3000 series of graphics cards yesterday morning. And what an announcement it was, live from Jensen's kitchen.
Yeah.
And I thought when they did the Ampere reveal for the Enterprise cards, because he introduced some Tesla Ampere-based cards earlier this year, and he was in his kitchen and whatnot, and he pulled them out of the oven, like, oh, I really can't wait. Oh, these smell good and whatnot. And he set them down on the counter. It's like, okay, so they used the kitchen, joke. Cool.
Yeah.
What's it going to be next? Literally from his kitchen again. And they like reused all the same jokes.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, back then it was, we were stricken to our houses, and then that's what the whole joke was. It's like, oh, okay, he's doing, because everyone's doing like a lot of baking back then. Yeah. And now it's
right.
Like,
the joke was, you can make sourdough. Well, I made an Ampere GPU, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was fine though. I had no problem really with it. I don't think he pulled anything out of the oven though. He was just standing in his kitchen, wasn't he?
No, he pulled the 3090 out of the oven.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I must have skipped that part. But boy. Yeah, how's your beer?
That is good.
Good?
That is
Sour?
Really good. Not nearly as much as I would expect a wild ale to be. It's definitely got that tang, that
funky,
real deep, funky, cheek puckering little bit, but it's not overbearing. And like a lot of wild ales and fermentation ales and whatnot, they can just be overbearing with that sourness. This actually has some flavor to it. Like, I'm really impressed.
But yeah, like funky ales, that's the thing, is they have no idea what's in the yeast. Mm-hmm. It's because it's literally just pulling it out of the air.
Right.
Yeah. So.
But no, they actually managed to pull some flavor out. I actually taste the berries and a little bit of that honey sweetness in there. I'm not getting much oak, but it's still very, very cold. So I'm hoping that as it warms up just a little bit, I'll get some of that barrel age note, and man, that'll really round it out.
Oh yeah.
So, but no, this is solid.
$10?
Let me warm it up a little bit first.
Right.
It's good. It's really good. At the moment, I'd be pretty happy if I spent 7 at a tap house on it. I'm not sure about 10 in a bottle.
Okay. So. All right. Well, there we go. Our beer. Mine's good.
Yep. Anyway, obviously the big story is the release of the 3070, the 3080, and the 3090, all with pretty much doubling up the CUDA and RT core counts of the previous generation Turing graphics cards. And where's my hat so I can cut it up and eat it? Because I was wrong about the pricing. That's what I remember what I was going to do today to start the show is I was going to open up the show with the hat in my mouth, and I completely forgot to grab it. Yeah, I was totally going to do that. And it's nowhere. I think it's upstairs. Dang it. Because I was wrong about the pricing. I was wrong about Nvidia upping their tiers again. In fact, the tiers pretty much stayed level with where they're at now. And in fact, the Titan came down in price, which was shocking. I mean, the RTX Titan's a $2,000 graphics card, and the Titan has never been aimed at gamers before. It's always been, for professional workloads, or, you need more power, but you don't need a Quadro. It's like, so a high-end gaming card. Like, Well, no, it's not for games, but it says GeForce on the side. Whatever. But the RTX 3070, $499, stays
That's
dead
the one
even. Stays dead even with the RTX 2070.
Ti, I think.
2070 Super. Yeah.
Super. Yeah.
Yeah. Stays dead even in pricing with the 2070 Super. And has reportedly the power is more powerful than a 2080 Ti.
Yeah.
Which was a $1,200 graphics card. That is... Now, we'll get into claimed performance in a minute, but when I first read that, what I hear is up to twice the performance of X card, or up to the performance of a 2080 Ti, or faster than a 2080 Ti. Usually when I hear those kinds of statements from companies during announcements, it's in 3 benchmarks out of the 70 that they ran. That we, because when they
got this one game that does it better.
Well, when they introduced Turing, when they introduced the last generation of graphics cards, they said ray tracing is up to 4 times faster on an RTX 2080 than it is on a GTX 1080 Ti. And it's like, no crap, you literally added hardware whose only job is to do ray tracing.
Yeah.
Of course it should be faster. And so, but there's always statements like that, like it's 4 times as powerful at this one thing we made it specifically to do.
Yeah.
In this case, Nvidia is actually kind of doubling down on the statement, though. So there was an AMA or a Q&A posted by Nvidia, and some Nvidia employees responded to common questions on Reddit. So I'm going to bring this up now. And biggest question was, why was only 10 gigabytes of memory for the RTX 3080? And their answer is, well, because for 4K gaming in ultra high settings, that's all you need. There's no game today that is demanding more than that. And they're saying, and for 4K at 60 to 100 FPS, it uses anywhere from 4 to 6 gigs. Now, there's a couple outliers with that. There's Red Dead Redemption 2, but I think that maxes out at like 8.5 at 4K. So you're still well within the margin of error, and more memory doesn't make it faster. It just gives you a bigger buffer. When the slide says, here's the key point though. When the slide says the RTX 3070 is equal to or faster than the 2080 Ti, are we talking about traditional rasterization or DLSS and RT workloads? And this was the thing that I was very skeptical of during the presentation, because they said the entire presentation still focused on ray traced games. And so all the benchmarks they gave were for Control and Call of Duty and the new package for Fortnite and Shadow of the Tomb Raider and all the games that we've seen before.
Yeah, they did the whole double ray tracing power.
Right,
basically.
Double the ray tracing power. And all of a sudden they say the 3070 is as fast or faster than a 2080 Ti. And remember how I said they'll give like 5 benchmarks out of 70 that says, yeah, it's faster. Well, in those ray trace games, yeah, it should be, because it has more RT cores, more tensor cores, faster at DLSS, second generation processing, all that jazz. However, Nvidia's statement is such. Very important if you could clear it up, since no traditional rasterization benchmarks were shown, only RT and DLSS supported games. So whoever asked the question, notice, just like I did, that the only games they showed benchmarked were RT-enabled games. According to Justin Walker at Nvidia, we are talking about both games that only support traditional rasterization and games that support RTX and RT-DLSS. And apparently they did post some public benchmarks. I mean, they're still only the RT games, but there's an Nvidia statement saying rasterization and ray tracing both are as fast or faster in the 3070 than the 2080 Ti. So even the outside of the 12 games that support ray tracing, you're still talking the same performance for $700 less than half the cost of a 2080 Ti.
Oh yeah, I still am very, very skeptical of it, but and especially with the price point. the price point and that statement, similar to you stating that, you know, it's going to be as good as a 2080. Like, there's no way. For one, that's just going to kill the market on used or other stuff still in stock.
Right.
Like, why would you go and do that? That will just hurt it. Now, usually it's like it's just below it, so maybe we'll lower the price of the 2070 Ti. No, this is literally going to kill it.
Right.
Or 2090 or 80, sorry.
Yeah, 2080.
80.
Yeah, no, this is going to absolutely tank pricing. And in fact, if you watch Salzar Studio, Greg over there, he did a video today on the price of used graphics cards tanked overnight. Because people are starting to dump their 2070s and 2080s and in some cases 2080 Ti's for less than $500.
Yeah, they're trying to get as much money as possible back, because right now, you know, as soon as these come out, which is very soon,
which is
this
2
month,
weeks. Yeah, it's 2.5 weeks.
Well, October for the 370.
Right.
But
September 17th for the 3080.
380, yeah,
right.
Which is still a reasonably priced $700 card.
Right.
You know,
$699.
Yeah. Now $14.99 for the 930. It's still a bit expensive, but yeah, it's within that. I'm a stay-at-home trying to be a very competitive gamer.
But the 2080 Ti was $1,200, and the Titan was $2,000. And think about the 2080 Ti only had 11 gigs of RAM. This has 24. So outside of the gaming realm, from a purely content creation, video memory, there has never been a card that has been as affordable as the 3090 is right now.
Yeah.
For those people who run very, very complex Premiere timelines, I'm thinking of like the Epos Voxes of the world and such, who regularly run up to 11 gigabyte video memory issues when they edit in Premiere. This is a card that is inside the affordability point of most consumers and prosumers and entry-level professionals, that you can all of a sudden get 24 gigabytes of GDDR6 memory in a card that costs less than $1,500, and that is crazy.
Yeah. So I am very still skeptical. I'm still very I'm just curious if we're gonna get these cards, and then within a week or two of people benchmarking them, issues will be flying off the shelf. Yeah. You know, like this statement's wrong. Technically, it only works with this. You got to do this, and it doesn't like this program. You know, just all those little features. It really everything sounds. These are Wish.com prices, literally Wish.com prices, and so they're just too good
Proud
to be
sponsor
true.
Of the LA Lakers.
So, yeah. Although then I'm just like, I want a 3070. You know, I can afford that. Right. That's on the Hops and Brews budget list.
Yeah. My editing workstation is my Threadripper 2950X and a 2080, and I have it hooked up to a 4K monitor. And the 2080 does okay with some games, but not all of them at 4K. I really want a 3090. It has been a long time since I've treated myself to a top flight graphics card. So I'm thinking about it.
I'll give you $300 for your old one, because I know the prices now.
No, I think that'll go in this workstation, because this one has a 2060 in it right now.
Oh, I don't want that one.
Yeah, no one wants that one anymore.
I'm still curious. So one of the other things was the cooling. I was still, because we were talking about the cooling fan aspects of this, and go ahead. Sorry. And well, they were stating that I think it was like 40% increase in cooling, and I didn't understand. And I didn't understand how that was going to be achieved. Now, they didn't release a whole lot of specs on that. They were just like, oh, the heat's going to dissipate through here and get sucked out through there, and it's going to work. And this is just a weird design, because these designs were leaked a while ago, and we talked about it, I think, like 6 months ago, right?
Not quite that long. It's been maybe 2 or 3 months.
I thought we were still at your house.
No, I don't think so. I don't think
Okay.
we were. Because when the designs leaked, we were talking about the possibility of the RT cores being on a coprocessor. So a double-sided board, 2 processors on a chip. We don't think that is true at this point. We think there's only one massive Ampere die on there, that the RT cores are integrated into the core. But that's when the specs were leaked for the coolers.
Yeah. But you know, the traditional cooler still looks like it's on the 3070, the 2 fans at the bottom. It's the 380, 390 that has that weird one at the bottom, one at the top.
Yeah.
And to me, that was like, came off as, now you kind of have to rethink about how you're cooling or air cooling your case now, because you have to have airflow coming off the top too, and the side, and the or slash bottom.
No, Nvidia is claiming what they're claiming, and I again wait for independent testing.
Yeah.
But what they're claiming is because that was also mentioned in the Q&A, is this going to impact like inverted layouts, and like, do I have to consider the airflow? They said as long as you have cold air entering your case from the front, the cooling fan will work efficiently. You don't have to provide air from the bottom. All you have to do is make sure air is coming in from the front. So, and it's kind of a hybrid design where it's partially a blower, where the bottom fan pulls in and then blows out of the back of the case, and then the top fan pulls from the bottom and then goes along the top of the card and then exhausts up towards the CPU, and then relies on your exhaust fan from your computer to discharge it. So it's kind of a half blower style cooler and a half open style cooler.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Is like, then I'm wondering if that's really specific on how you design your case. Like, will you see a couple degrees performance if you properly treat your case a certain way, versus, you know, I only have you know, front fans and an exhaust fan, and that's all I have. I have a hard top. You know, will you see perhaps a couple of degrees different, 3-4 degrees?
Who knows? But they're really trumpeting the efficiency of these new coolers. However, they've done that before, and they've also trumpeted how much more efficient and how much quieter they are, and we've always been disappointed with new designs. You know, the RTX Founders Edition included in that. So I'm skeptical until they prove me wrong, because the cooler design has never been anything I've been impressed with from Nvidia.
Yeah. So that was one of the more. Go ahead, sorry.
No problem. $5 donation from Armando. From the perspective of someone who waited through the 20 series with a 1080 Ti, I almost bought a 2080 Ti Kingpin for $1,600. The 390 is irresistible. And that's exactly right. People who are in the market for, you know, the 1080 Ti, who spent $800-900 or $1,000 on some of the higher end 1080 Ti's, and the people who were considering a $1,200 or $1,400 or $1,500 from a board partner 2080 Ti, that $1,400 price point on the 3090 is insane.
Yeah.
It's expensive for most of us, trust me, myself included. That is not going to be an easy purchase to just like swing up and make. But at the same time, boy, there's never been more power available.
I mean, that's like my beer budget, or do I need a new graphics card? My beer budget? Or...
Don't put it in those terms. My liquor cabinet's already dwindling a bit.
That's for my beer turn. My Tavor crate, or do I get Nvidia?
Well, seeing as how we're still in the middle of a pandemic and you can't bring me beer, I'd say screw the beer crate.
Oh, I'm still saving them.
Oh, man. Anyway.
Even through getting a new fridge, I've been still saving them, making sure they're... I even have a whole box of like, this is Jeff's box.
Oh, boy.
This is what I'm saving.
I can hardly wait.
Oh, actually, can you hear my fridge? Just curious.
No.
Can you hear?
I
Perfect.
cannot.
It is. That's great. So yeah.
But I'm half deaf, so.
Well, my old one I had to turn off, so this one is nice. It's a little bit smaller, but it's almost a brand new machine. Like, you could still buy this machine commercially.
Nice.
So I'm really happy with it.
No, so. I don't hear anything from you at all. So.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, and I actually have it on the lowest setting, and it's colder than my fridge was.
Nice.
So really happy.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, and Bryant says the Kingpin 2080 Ti is $1,900. Exactly. So if you were considering a top flight 2080 Ti, the 3090 is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, the board partner cards are probably going to be more expensive than that because they have been over the last couple of years. But you get a custom PCB with a 3090 and $1,600, $1,700. That's still an insane deal for the amount of power that's purportedly in that card. Yeah.
Did you try asking for one?
I have some feelers out. I know I'm on at least one list to receive day one samples.
Oh, cool.
So I'm trying to get on a couple more because I would like to start doing some more comparison videos at launch, or at least do some projects, or maybe take a different angle than some of the other reviewers do. I've talked about this before, that there are right now, there's the trusted tech reviews that you go to for the really in-depth benchmarks. There's the Gamers Nexus and the Hardware Unboxed and the Jsu Sense and the Paul and the Kyle of the world. And they do a fantastic job. And there's a handful of others in there as well. So forgive me if I'm not naming everyone. But you go to those guys and, man, they will tell you every last thing you ever wanted to know about the cards. That's never been what's jazzed me about tech. It's not the nitty gritty of the graphics cards is not really what I'm enthusiastic about. I'm enthusiastic about using tech and what can I make the tech do for me. Yeah. And so I think that's why my reviews slant a little bit differently. Is I'm coming at this from purely a consumer standpoint, or an enthusiast standpoint who wants to tinker with something, not necessarily I'm in it for the high overclocks and that frame rate, yo. That's never been why I play games. It's never been why I tinker with hardware. And so at the moment, for reviews like that, I'm still trying to find my niche that I can attack the reviews from a different angle that are genuine to who I am as a reviewer, and still provide something different for the community to watch.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, always. I mean, yeah, like you said, there's just everyone, and you do have to come at it in a different angle. I think you do a pretty good job at presenting at a different angle, more of the usability, the uniqueness. What can I do with this instead of, and then also at the same time, still showing stats too. Right. That's the other thing. You're actually giving both worlds, which is really nice. So.
I'm trying to give a little bit of both. I'm trying to give it from a builder's perspective, not necessarily from I'm after the absolute highest frame rate and I'm going to eke every last bit of percentage points out of this, to, if I spent my money on this as a consumer, would I be happy?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm about. Because I've rarely ran overclocks on a 24/7 basis. I've rarely squeeze that extra bit of performance out. And mainly it's just because I come from an IT world where stability is king, not necessarily waiting 20 seconds less for a render to happen. I'd rather wait the full amount of time for a render to happen and not have it crash 3 times because my overclock was on the edge.
Yeah.
That's always been my philosophy. And so I'm not the guy when it comes to, necessarily cutting edge, edge of stability, overclocking, and what it doesn't excite me. And so that's not the information I'm going to drive for. What I'm going to drive for is reliability, acoustics, because I hate loud computers. I hate hearing fans. I hate hearing coil whine. I hate hearing all these other things.
The hum of the fans.
Right. My office.
I don't mind it during startup, but yeah,
right.
I get it.
Oh yeah, on startup, who doesn't want to rev their engine a couple times? And I love hearing the graphics card fan, and then it shuts up, and then you go into a game, and that's the last you ever hear of it. Yep. But I'm not a headphones gamer either, and so I don't want to hear my computer fan blaring 3 feet from my head. And so that's
when you gotta turn up the music in the background. See, I guess, yeah. See, that's for me though. Is I love, if I'm going to be playing a game, headphones or speakers, because I used to do it all before I had a kid. Was without headphones. Yeah, I would crank it loud. and
Right.
I wanted my neighbors to feel like when I was playing Call of Duty or Battlefield, like I was watching, Saving Private Ryan or something like that, Band of Brothers, of all the explosions and everything. I wanted the house to rumble. I wouldn't hear my computer then. But it does annoy me though, like I have a bed in my office, so that way if I'm sick or my wife's sick, we kind of like try to separate.
Right.
Yeah, it is annoying. I'm trying to sleep, and then
No, that's just when the Tavor bill comes in.
Shut up. She doesn't know about it.
Too.
Why do you think Jeff has a foldable couch?
Yeah, I have a futon or a hide-a-bed in my office.
Jeff's like, I just restocked my liquor cabinet. I'm gonna be sleeping down here tonight because my wife just saw the bill. I don't like the fan.
Yeah, so before I quit my job, I made one last run to the liquor store, and that's when I bought my Glenfiddich 14, and I restocked everything because it had been since January since I had been to the liquor store, and all of a sudden they opened back up, and I was able to go and actually do a little bit of shopping, and so I think I spent like $450 at the liquor store or something like that because I was out of everything. I had barely even my standards left. I was completely out of rum, which shocked the heck out of me because I buy that by the 2 gallons at a time.
Oh, I have a rum. My wife got me this. I want to save it for you. It is some of the best straight rum I've ever had.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it's this bamboo rum Caribbean.
Ooh.
Extremely cane sugar, banana brown sugar.
See that, and that's the kind of rum that I like.
Extremely. I don't even want to mix it. It's so good straight. It's super sweet. No spice. Sweet dark rum.
Yep.
So yeah, but yeah, really, really tasty stuff.
All right, John, go over to the Discord and check on the man.
Did he do it?
Yep.
Someone. Oh, you. I can't say it, but although I don't see it open, so technically.
Okay, let's go on over there.
I figured that's about as strong as my Budweiser.
Right. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
There it is, ladies and gents. It's official. All right.
What did he say? What year that was?
He did not.
Okay. What year? Yeah, I'm curious what year that is. And we get to see all your gifts. Okay, great. You're still scrolling.
Yeah.
There. Oh, that's. I'm still behind. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're cut out on mine. On my disc. Yeah. So.
Yep.
That's weird.
All right.
That's weird. All right. Yeah. Whatever. This will work. So yeah. The Nvidia. So that's basically all of the big news about Nvidia. There was a couple things they didn't really talk about too much. What was it? The memory, we talked about that. Cooling, we talked about that. Performance.
There's already a new leaked card, though.
Yes, that was the other one. So yeah, well, that was the other thing. So there was only 3 tiers, and there might be a 4th.
Yes. Well, there's certainly room in between the cards that they announced for other SKUs. And Nvidia has been one over the last couple generations to introduce cards mid-cycle to change their die size or do some other weird things, or introduce the 2060 KO, which was the cut down 2080, or introduce the super cards, which were 12 nanometer FinFET instead of 14. But it's rare that we see leaks like this, where Lenovo has apparently announced that they are launching the Legion T7 with an RTX 3070 Ti with 16 gigabytes of memory, which is well over what the 3080 has at 10 gigabytes of memory. So,
yeah, it'd be interesting. But there wasn't a whole lot released. That's pretty much all we know is memory. That was about it. Right. there was no other. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I would say we know the memory bus is the same 256-bit because that was reported in the leak, and also the 16 gigabytes of DDR6. Now, it's not the DDR6X, it's not the accelerated stuff, but it's still 16 gigabytes. And again, if we're talking a 3070 Ti, if this is going to slot somewhere in between the 3070 and the 3080, holy crap! Give me 16 gigs of memory for $650.
Yeah, exactly. $50 to maybe $100 more.
Right.
Yeah, somebody $599, $100 more. You get double the RAM.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd probably do that one. Honestly, you'd be like, I'll hold back on the newer monitor. I'll get this graphics card.
Right. My brother-in-law still games on. So he has a 1070 Ti, and he still games on a 17-inch 1280 by 1024 Dell. Oh, trust me, he shreds those frame rates. Although he's only getting 60 hertz on the monitor, but dear God, he's up in 200 on almost every single game.
Yeah, I mean that's what you got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you're used to it too, you're just like, this is my. It's almost like that old car, that old part. This is like, oh, this is my Eleanor, type of a thing.
You can't say that name. We don't own that name, John.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
God.
We're gonna have to. He's gonna have to give up his monitor now.
Oh God, they're repossessing. Yeah. I'm just gonna call this chair the Eleanor from now on. Let him come get it.
Oh, I guess there we
go.
But yeah, there wasn't a whole lot released about so far this 3070 Ti. We know there's more memory. There was just basically there were a couple of sites basically saying, hey, it comes optional with this. It'll fit this graphics card, and it was 1070 Ti with 16 gigabits, and everyone was like, what? That wasn't announced.
Yeah.
And so that's basically how the rumor started, or the leak, whatever you want to call it.
Because they didn't announce a 16 gigabyte card. There was an 8, a 10, and a 24. And all of a sudden, Lenovo says, hey, we've got a RTX 3070 graphics card in our new laptop, or in our new T7s with 16 gigabytes of video memory. And we went,
what?
Really?
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see if that's either just a mistype of maybe someone just took the 20s and just like, all right, let's just keep going with this, copy and paste type of a deal.
Well, the 20s are all 8, 8, and 11.
Well, well, they figure like double, and they're just like, oh, well, whatever, But yeah, that's weird that it is double, but then the next one's 10. Yeah. Or the 3080.
Which, by the way, we talked about. I talked about last week about CUDA cores being a really good determiner of the speed of a graphics card, and we were comparing the 10 series to the 20 series of graphics cards, and I was really using that to compare the tiers of graphics cards, and saying that the 20 or the 1080 tier became the 2070 tier. So they dropped their naming scheme one tier and charged more for the lower named cards. Yeah. But if you needed more proof that the RTX 3070 is going to be as powerful as a 2080 Ti, the thing has 5,888 CUDA cores versus, I believe, 48 or 5,100 on the 2080 Ti. I think it might be 5120 versus 5888 of 8 nanometer, next generation goodness. And then you look at the 3080 with 8704 and the 3090 with 10,496.
I know. That's literally what was the not the Veyron. What was that? Oh wait, was it the Bugatti Veyron? Yeah, that's like the Bugatti Veyron hitting that magical 1,000 horsepower. Like what?
That's exactly what that is.
No one ever thinks that.
10,000 CUDA cores. Right. Yeah. So if you needed any more maybe it's going to work out to be like that much faster. The 3090 may be twice as fast as a 2080 Ti.
Yeah.
And by the way, the base clock on that is only 100 megahertz lower than the 3070. It's 1395 versus 1500. So those are some fast cores in there as well. With a boost clock approaching 1700 megahertz, which we know GPU boost, whatever it's at 3.0 or 4.0 or whatever the crap they're going to call this one, 1900 megahertz might be in the cards. Right?
Man, this is intense. Yeah. Again, I really want to see it. This is them testing it. I want to get it into the consumer hands. I want to get into the people that I trust online to really do everyday either consumer gaming, consumer editing, a little bit of commercial wise level stuff. I want to see it all, because they're giving us the best of the best. That they're obviously not going to show us, it really did okay here, but whoa, they're never going to say that.
Right.
So, but man, even the crumbs, that they're giving us looks way larger than the loaf of breads that we already have. So.
Yep. So apparently Fenchek is also going to try to find us a Utopia. He knows a guy.
We were very close to getting one. Was it last year?
It was last year. Yeah. We were gonna. We had one on reserve. I was gonna drive up to Vancouver and pick it up, and we got a call back that they had canceled our reservation. It was basically. I found one. You got it, or you said, okay, let's do it. I'll be there tomorrow. Let's do this.
Yeah, we all agreed. The four of us all were gonna split it, and we were all gonna have it because this was when you were still living next to Steve.
Right. And we were going to have a social show, so we were going to have everyone over, and we were just going to crack open the Utopia and just have at it.
Yeah, so because it ended up being like $25 a person, which wasn't bad. And it
was 50 or 40.
No, because I think it was like $120. I think
that was more than that. I thought it was 160. I thought it was 40 a person.
Well,
whatever.
It might have been 4, but and then when it being, I think we all get 4 ounces, because I think it's only a 16, maybe a 22 bomber, but it's 22%, something like that. So
isn't it?
Yeah. Every year it's a little different. But it's high 20s.
Yeah, high 20s. Yeah.
We're basically drinking, schnapps. Actually higher than schnapps.
Higher than schnapps, yeah.
Liqueurs, basically.
Yeah, you're approaching like Malibu Black, 35% kind of stuff. So,
yeah.
Yep. Yeah, we almost had one.
We almost had one.
Because you can't sell them in Oregon, because in Oregon you cannot buy any beer that is higher than 20%.
19.99.
19.99. And so since Sam Adams Utopia is technically a beer, they can't even sell it in the liquor stores here because the liquor stores won't sell beer. So
some do, but they don't. It's basically they won't sell that high, and it's just not in a high demand, and but they won't. But it's so weird that, because I can
drive to Washington and get one.
Yeah, we went to Vancouver, and it was. Well, actually, there's almost 2 times, because one time Costco had it, and
Costco had it for I think $2.30 a bottle.
Yeah, and
then we found one for $1.60.
Yeah, and it was at a Safeway. It was at a Safeway in their locked up wine rack, and they're like, the manager was like, we'll hold it for you.
Yep.
And we'll be here, and it's like, okay, we'll be there tomorrow. Oh, it's sold.
Yep.
Damn it, you didn't lock it.
Yeah. Yep. So much for that. Another reason I hate Safeway.
Yeah.
They didn't hold my Utopia for me.
Go Ross.
Yeah.
Green bow ties all the way.
Yeah. All right. Let's get on to the next story. We've talked enough Nvidia.
Yeah, I think everyone got the gist of Nvidia. It's going to be epic, supposedly. If even 75% of what they're shading is true, everyone's going to have awesome graphics cards coming up next year.
What's going to be amazing is the 60 series cards and the 50 series cards. If they're using this same tech,
Well, and the used market is just going to plummet. Everyone, that's the other thing. I do wonder, I never thought of this. Do you think they did this to combat the console games, the new consoles that are coming out? Because now, now hear me out. No, because not these cards, but not even the 20s, but the 1080s are going to be so dirt cheap and comparable to consoles.
No, I wholeheartedly disagree, and here's why.
Okay.
Consoles and PCs are always different markets. They
are, but they are always constantly fighting.
They're constantly fighting with us. They're not fighting with consumers. You're typically either a console or a PC, or you have both. Which I know that's 100% of gamers right there. You have one or the other or both. But my point is, you're typically a console gamer or you're typically a PC gamer, and there's a little bit of crossover, but you're not going to sway someone from playing a console when they can go buy the console for $399 and the games are there and all they have to do is plug it into their TV and go, versus going out and spending $1,200 with a pre-built or building their own or whatever else. And the PC community, as inviting as some of them are, there's also a lot of people who are very elitist and gatekeeping in the PC community.
Yeah, that's true.
Who feed a lot of and so the PC community can be very confusing coming from the outside, coming from the console base. And you look at the price of these graphics cards. You can get a console for $399 and it'll play 4K and it'll have ray tracing, or you can get a graphics card for $499. That's a good graphics card, but it's...
but that's a brand new graphics card. I'm saying now with the used market, you're going to be able to get a whole build for $399.
Yeah,
that is better than that.
Typically, the people who buy used are already PC gamers.
True.
You don't see someone who is a console gamer and has been a console gamer and has never built a PC before in their life shopping Craigslist for used parts, shopping eBay for used parts, because they don't know. They don't know how to do this.
So this week and last week.
By the way, I've got a couple super chats to get to real quick. Yeah, Big Spoon, $5. I was told we need to wear a V-neck shirt tonight. This is the lowest cut V-neck that I own. And,
this is the highest cut I own.
By the way, shout out to Shellback Tech. So go check out his go check out his channel. So he does a lot of charity builds for disabled veterans and whatnot, and he sent me and a bunch of other people some custom jerseys. So this jersey is freaking awesome, and I love this thing. Even has my name on the back of it, which is awesome. But
I didn't get one.
Nah, well. No, it seriously awesome channel, does a lot of good work, awesome guy. But yeah, go check him out on YouTube and on Twitter. Shellback Tech _tech or Shellback _tech. And I don't know if he's watching tonight or not, but I posted the picture of me with this with his jersey on Twitter. So we had a little back and forth on there earlier, so go check him out because he's freaking awesome. Anyway, Big Spoon, $5. I was not told I needed to wear a V-neck for the show tonight. Well, John's on, so you should have known already.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I mean, if you want me to wear lower, that's another. For every $5, it gets lower and lower and lower.
And then, of course, I have to pay $5 to John to have him hike it back up. So
yes,
yeah.
So,
yeah. So I'm constantly fighting with super chats when John's on. Fencheck, $50 donation. Thank you. Woo! You're awesome.
Now I'm just like, what did he want to say?
Yeah. I think that's so we can go buy a Utopia.
Yeah.
Oh darn, we can't drink it together. Guess I'll tell you what it's like. I'll tell you.
Yeah, I'll brave the streets of Salem to go for that one.
Yeah. James, great channel. Your passion really shows in all your videos. $5 donation. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Anyone have a link to the Craft Computing Discord? You have to join the Patreon. It is behind a paywall. I say paywall. It's a minimum donation of $1 per month, and it gets you access to the Discord server. So join the Patreon, $1 or more if you'd like to donate more. More is always welcome.
Yep.
Helps me keep the lights on.
Yeah, literally. And, honestly, you're going to sit there. If you do that $1, you're going to feel really bad because this Patreon's awesome. I mean, there's so much content in there. You're going to feel like you're ripping Jeff off by just doing the $1. You're like, I got to do more. I feel bad for this guy. I mean, it's just pathetic what's going on in there. It's just, I need to give him more. So.
Yep. Yeah, I show you some behind the scenes of how I live, where, I actually rent this space. I actually live in a cardboard box in downtown Salem.
Slum. It's a slum, literally.
This is all green screen.
Speaking of not being able to get out of town and having to stay where we are and possibly sticking around, have you done any of the Amazon, or you don't probably have the Whole Foods around? No, there's none in Salem, huh?
There's none in Salem. No, the closest one is up in Lake Oswego, Tualatin.
Yeah, so you don't do any of those deliveries, do you?
We don't do the Whole Foods delivery. We do get Costco. Amazon doesn't do delivery service here for food. They do for products. We do actually get the Amazon direct deliveries here, which is nice. Okay, so I've actually received a couple packages same day lately, which is
okay, that's cool. So you got a couple Amazon drivers, or the special Amazon drivers?
Yeah, we got the special Amazon vans here, which is cool.
So okay, yeah.
But this one was funny.
This is kind of weird. This just shows how competitive even those people can be.
Yeah. So Amazon is doing a service where you can sign up to be a delivery driver and deliver packages out of your own vehicle. So similar to an Uber or a Lyft, you would be an at-will contract driver. You would drive to the distribution center. You would pick up a package and go deliver it. And you get a notification on your phone. And if you accept the package, much like being an Uber driver, you get a notification that, hey, there's someone who wants to start here and go to here. You get, I'll accept that route. And then you get that route and you're their driver. Amazon's doing the same thing for package delivery. So they say, hey, we need you to come to the distribution center, and then we need you to drive. You need to drive to here to deliver the package. And you can either accept or deny. And not. But Amazon will only offer that service or that delivery if you're in the area in order to pick up. Well, that has led to a little bit of scamming of the system, as apparently some of these contract drivers are hanging smartphones in the trees outside of the Amazon distribution center. So it looks as if their phones are a lot closer to the distribution center. Therefore, they're getting the pings and then forwarding the pings to the phones that are actually in their cars. And then accepting the deliveries. And even though their blocks are potentially miles away, they're edging out other drivers for that money.
Yeah. It's pretty ridiculous, honestly. I don't know how, or for one, how much does this work? Because now we do know the whole cell phone ping and grouping thing works because of that traffic experiment, where he tricked Google Maps. You put enough cell phones, and so it's close proximity. What it was saying that a lot of these facilities and Whole Foods area, they'll even attach to their Wi-Fi, and Google will even state, or Amazon will even say, hey, okay, we know these Wi-Fi hotspots. So what's the closest one to that? And when they're attached to those phones, because they're hanging in the tree right next to the parking lot, that can still reach it. These are the first ones that get pinged, and then 5 minutes later, none of these took it. All right, let's extend it 3 blocks. None of these took it. Let's extend it 3 blocks. Right. That's how the system seems to work. And but honestly, if I saw that, I would have just gathered up all these cell phones and then taken them inside. And be like, what are all these cell phones doing here? Someone left these outside. Right. How is there no bums just going up? Oh, look, a cell phone tree.
Free phone.
Oh,
right.
A phone, free phone, And
I have my beer tree in my backyard. So.
Yeah, obviously someone just planted a Nokia smartphone in the ground and it just sprouted. That's how these phones get invented, and then they cross-pollinate them, and that's how we get the Samsung 12 and the iPhone 13 or X. It's cross-pollinating. They're very green. This is how phones get green.
Yeah. But no, it's an interesting workaround for the system, and a little bit of a gaming for
it's
getting
like
package delivery contracts when you're not necessarily in the area.
Yeah, I mean, it is playing the system. It is learning how to do it. But at the same time, okay, your standard decent smartphone is still going to cost you $100,
Right?
Something like that. Again, yeah, I bet there's a really good chance that these are getting stolen.
Yeah.
So and most of these deliveries only pay you like 15, 20, 30, $45 at the most. And you need to do 2 or 3 of these to pay for that cell phone. And then now you have to make more. So I would love to see if the person who started doing this, or someone who started doing this, did make it worth it, or is there trouble in it? This is a weird phenomenon. Now, the article, I don't remember reading if it was a localized area.
This was apparently local to Chicago at the time.
Okay.
And so this was the photograph that I put up was outside of Evanston, Illinois, Whole Foods.
Oh, yeah.
So Chicago greater area. But
yeah.
I haven't heard reports of it happening elsewhere, but apparently Amazon is looking into this as a potential issue.
That would be interesting to see how they fix it. Other than maybe possibly expanding their notification grid of just saying, okay, instead of whoever's the closest, we got to give it a couple blocks and give anyone within that couple blocks the exact same opportunity. And then it really comes down to, but again, that comes down to cell service and where a tower's at, and then the network. That's going to be tricky. That's playing the system. I mean, you're basically playing against the hardware and the setup, because every location is going to be different. And if a tower and signal is weaker, say at a different Whole Foods, 6-7 blocks away, you're not going to put your phone there. You're going to put your phone at the strongest signal. So I wonder also, there's research into this that the driver would have to do.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I'd chain a big ass safe to the tree to work as a Faraday cage.
Now there's you'd probably get. Well, no, wait. Now that's technically public property, a parking lot.
Technically it's private property.
Well, I know. So I know
it's in public space. It's publicly accessible, but it is private property.
I might be thinking of Oregon law, because I know Oregon law is like the Walmart parking lots are considered public. I believe.
They're open to the public, but they are considered private property. To conduct business on them, the police do have to ask permission to enter the premises. Yes,
but I also know that truck drivers are allowed to sleep there overnight.
That's because Walmart opens them up and says there is 24-hour parking available at the Walmart. Walmart has signs posted that says camping is available in the back lot.
Okay. All right. So yeah, then doing business there, although that would be another revenue stream for Google. Of like, hey, let's put safes here.
Yeah. Yep.
And then put charging docks.
All right. Alienware is in the news. Alienware.
When was the last time you heard about them?
Right. Probably 7-8 years ago, I think was my last Alienware system. I've owned a couple over the years. I've had an M11X, Revision 3, one of the first i7 laptops. I had an M14X, which was a great system. But Alienware is rolling out laptops with 360 hertz displays. So just when you thought displays were getting fast enough, apparently not on the laptop market. Because I believe, Asus and one other company finally released their 360 hertz displays a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, you can see them. There's like a handful. I think there's like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I think those 2, and there's maybe like one other Chinese one that claims to do it. There are very few desktop ones, and I don't remember the size. Now, this is a 17-inch monitor,
right?
So it's not going to be.
Yeah, Steve and I demoed a couple different 360 hertz panels at CES this year, and we said it at the time. I was amazed at the difference. There is a difference. There is. I saw because when I saw this article, so I wanted to go check out, and they did. I couldn't find an example of this computer, but I saw a convention that had, I think it was a LTE or I forget whose monitor, but they had an example of a 360 hertz monitor, but they compared it to a 60 hertz monitor. I was like, well, yeah. When you see that, obviously it's going to be better. It's 6 times faster, right?
But then when you're talking at 144 hertz or 200 plus, is it that big of a deal? Is it that big? Now, so I don't know what you and Steve compared it to.
I'm telling you, yes. So we went through this demo at the Nvidia booth, and we also went through the demo at the Asus booth, and they had 2 different demos set up. Both of them had a 360 hertz display, and then they had another display set up which you could vary the refresh rate from 60 to 90 to 144 to 240. Okay. And so you could see all of the common refresh rates of the monitors. And even between 240 and 360, there was a noticeable and marked difference between the two.
Yeah.
And in the Nvidia booth, we got to actually play games with this and compare it to we played CS:GO, and it was I think CS:GO was 60 hertz versus 240 or versus 360, and so obviously that one's a huge advantage because you're getting 5 extra frames in between each frame for a 60 hertz monitor. Yeah. On the 60 hertz, so it set up a scenario where you're looking through a narrow door and a guy jumps across the screen, and you have that amount of time to hit the guy, and at 60 hertz, I think I hit him 4 times, so I was at 40% out of 10. With the 360 hertz, I hit him 8 in a row and 9 out of 10.
Yeah,
I hit my first 8 shots at 360 hertz, and so if you're just talking pure reaction time, it was, like I said, a marked improvement. It was amazing. How much? I think they say faster.
The human eye can react in 100, around 150 hertz, 150 frames per second, 55.
Yes, so the human brain can react somewhere in the neighborhood of, gosh, what was it? I want to say 80 milliseconds or something like that.
Something like that.
So on 60 hertz, if you're talking 16 milliseconds, you only have 4 frames to react.
Yeah, and you're mostly going on instinct then. You're like, right. I'm guessing. I'm like, okay, 2-3 shots of, I figured this out. Right. Guess. I'm just time guessing and preying on this. So it sounds like the 360 hertz, you'll see every step, and you're almost going to have, a quarter of a second extra time of, reaction. And, and then once you start training yourself, it's probably even going to feel like a half a second.
Right.
Now, the 360 hertz seemed really cool. Now, I looked those monitors up right now. They're super, super expensive. I mean, they are pro level gamer.
Isn't the Asus one like $1,800 for a 27-inch? Like it's up there.
So then I looked up this laptop. I tried to find it on Dell, and interesting enough, I couldn't find 360 hertz on any of the ones that they were selling. All from a $6,000 price range to a $1,500, but they did say at 300 hertz, which I found interesting. So I don't know if there's some
that might have been a typo because they've offered 240 in the past.
There's but every single one that I found was only 300 hertz, and I was like, this is just odd. Why can't I find every Google article? So I don't know if it is a typo on the Dell website, because I can only find it on Dell.com, this particular laptop, because I looked up both models. So this Alienware and the 360 hertz are coming on the Area 51M R2 and the M17 R3. And again, these are upgradable options,
Right,
that you can buy. And like I said, it ranges from like $1,700 to, I saw 5,600. I was like, oh my gosh, that's ridiculous for a 17-inch screen and a laptop. But I never saw 360 hertz. I only saw 300 hertz. But 300 hertz would be a really odd number. So, like you said, it could have been a typo. So that was I wanted to see what the pricing point of this monitor was, or this laptop, compared to just the standalone monitor.
right.
Although now that if it is a $5,600 laptop, I will go and just rather buy the 3090 and buy one of those $1,500 monitors. I will be set.
Yep.
I'll still save so much more money.
I really want a 3090. I really do. I've always been the person that has bought the previous generation second tier.
Yeah.
So I've always been the person that when the 900 series cards launched, I went out and bought because I was on AMD back then for a while. I think when the 6000 series cards of AMD launched, I bought a 5970, and I got it on a pretty good deal online, where I paid well under what the market value was, and it was like, oh, it's 3% slower than the new card. Cool. Did that for years and years and years and years and years. So every single time I would buy new hardware, I would buy the previous generation second best. And you look at my workstation right now, I have I bought a Threadripper 2950X after the Threadripper Gen 3 was announced, and I paid $500 for the chip when it was $1,200 new for the 16 core. So that's what I do.
Well, but now when you're like $500, I can afford even the low end model, and I'm going to be first gen of the new, whatever.
Right.
Series.
Yeah. Now I'm looking. 3070 at $500 is still a heck of an improvement over my 2080, because the 2080 Ti is still a heck of an improvement over the 2080. And so, but I'm looking at, man, I want that 24 gigs. I want a little more headroom in Adobe.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, even what you built me, so because I did the Tavor box, and that was like a 20-minute video for me.
Yeah.
For me, that's just like insane.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like an Epos box. I'm going to have all these graphics, because I've seen some of his
timelines are insane.
Oh my gosh, have you seen it? Just stacked upon stacked, and then there's nested everywhere. Yep. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Some of my more complex montages get to be like that, but that's like a 2-minute section out of a 12-minute video.
Yeah, but it's just, mine is like, okay, I got like 3, maybe. I think the most I've ever done is like a 5-layer, but it's just like some text graphics, so it's
right.
Hard. But when I went into that 21-minute range and everything was shot in 4K, but then I compressed the frame rate down, it's still, my computer was like, nope. I don't like this. This is too much.
What are you doing to me, John?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was like that. It actually took me like 3 extra days to edit this video, and now I'm like, wow, I want this graphics card now. And this is a great excuse for Jeff to rebuild the computer
that I just built you 8 months ago.
Yeah, we can reshoot everything. We'll fake it all.
Yeah,
I still got the old parts, and then Jeff can just put new parts into the computer he gave.
Yeah, I feel really bad because there was a company who sent out some cooling parts for John, specifically for John's build. Sent out a case, sent out fans and LEDs and a bunch of other things. So they were the bling on top of the parts that I was giving John. And we shot half of the video, and then CES happened, and then COVID happened, and so we never got the opportunity to shoot the second half of that video. So
we were like, we're just tired. Let's just call it a night.
Yeah, it was 11:30 after Talking Heads. It was bad.
And then half of our like, hey guys, I'm Jeff. Because again, we were probably like 2-3 beers in too. Might have been some consumption before and after. Yeah, and then before and after. So we're just like, all right, how we do this? Okay. It was either like way over the top or just I'm tired, and nothing worked really. We shot, I think, the intro 4 or 5 times.
Oh, something like that, yeah. But no, I gave John an E5 2678 V3 with a Chinese X99 NVMe drive and a Quadro K5000 because he wasn't looking to game, but he needed some video memory. So Quadro K5000, you know, it's still Kepler, but it's 8 gigabytes of video memory. Yeah. And I went, for what you're doing, this will be probably enough.
Yeah, well, I had a 4 gig card too before that, so I was like, oh, this is double what I can do.
Right. Yeah.
So. But now I'm like, 12 gigs, huh? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah, or now, heck, I'm looking at that 16 possibly for $5.99.
Yeah.
Or, well, we don't know it's $5.99, but you know what? We're assuming so.
It's probably going to be less than $6.99 though. So I'm going to guess like $6.50 if I had to guess. Just because of memory pricing, it's probably going to be a little bit more. But
it's a lower end memory, so yeah. So if you're looking for an ultra gaming laptop, Alienware might be coming back in the world of competitive, expensive ultra gaming that's way overpriced. Speaking of overpriced stuff for your computer, how would you like to have a 15 terabyte solid state?
Well, before we get into that...
Oh, fine. That was a great intro.
It was, but my glass is empty. It's been empty since the beginning of the last story.
All right.
I can't have that.
All right. All right. Well, what do you have now? You gonna do a big one now?
I might. I'm thinking about it. Are you gonna do a big one?
No, because this was my big one. It was 10-2.
Okay, that's right. You had the 10-2 already.
I feel pretty good. I might go get like a light sour. Actually, there's a red lager I want to go try.
Ooh, that sounds good.
So kind of malt. That might have been a lager. I have 2 of them. So if it's good, maybe I'll give it to you.
Okay.
So because there's a Novella Hub is shipping us a beer. I won't say what kind, but it's my personal favorite kind.
It's in the box below me. I was gonna do a beer opening tonight too. So
he already gave it to you?
Yeah, it's at my feet right now.
How? Really?
Yeah, I'm not even kidding. It's right there. He shipped it on Monday. It got delivered today.
Oh man, that got there fast.
Yeah.
I don't want to be. God. It's my favorite. It's my favorite, guys.
All right, you go grab your beer, John, and I'll do the beer opening here real quick.
All right.
So beer mail. We have some beer mail. Courtesy of Novella Hub over on the Discord, and of course I got my my Doc Tog to open this thing up. Go. Certainly taped well enough. Wow. There we go. Put that away before I kill myself. All right. Did we lose John? Oh. He's back. Okay.
Yep. Oh, I was hoping if I went in and out, you'd show back up, but it didn't work. Whatever.
All right. Oh, good God, that's heavy. And of course, it's taped even more, so I've got to bring the knife back out. Eventually, I'll get through all the tape, and we'll get into the beer here.
Jeez, that's like ultra safe packaging.
Yeah. All right, we're finally into it. So, we've got DreamYard. Modest Brewing Company, Minneapolis, Minnesota. DreamYard. It's a New England IPA.
That was the one that was meant for me.
7.1%.
I'm sure that was the one that was meant for me.
Shikopi, fine, whatever. 6.5% New England IPA. Ooh, here's one right just for you, John. Mr. Brightside.
Ah, there we go. I'll sing that for karaoke too.
Pale Ale, 5.3%. We've got a Shift Happens. DDH Lager from Shell's Beer. All right. Oh boy. Here's yours, John. Here it is. There it is, right there. Deep Space Brine from Tin Whiskers Brewing Company. It's a 4.5% ABV, 20 IBU. Pickle beer. Kolsch with fresh dill and cucumber.
That's the one. That's the one.
I'm assuming both those pints are for you.
No, one's for you.
I don't know about that. Shikopi Head of Turtles Imperial Stout, loaded with pecan, cocoa nibs, and vanilla. Barrel-aged version 2.
That was for me. That was mine. That was the one. That was the one. He totally. I had the message. I got deleted though. It got deleted. That was the one he meant for me.
Tell you what, I will ask him. Oh, you know what? Actually, Shikopi Brew Hall, Herd of Turtles, 10.3%. So this is version 1. Chocolate, vanilla, pecan, and lactose. So that also looks delicious. And oh no, here's the version 1. So Herd of Turtles. Herd of Turtles Imperial Stout, loaded with pecan, cocoa nibs, and vanilla. Version 1, 12.1%. So yeah, we got.
Is the other one the non-barrel aged version?
These are not barrel aged. Oh yeah, they are. Okay. Yeah, so this is non-barrel aged.
Yeah,
so this is Herd of Turtles non-barrel aged, and then barrel aged version 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's like okay. I bet that's a non-barrel aged versus barrel aged.
Yep.
Yeah, so he wanted to give me the barrel aged version, and you get the non, and that's what he told me.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll clarify with him which ones go to you and which ones go to me.
Yeah, I'm pretty.
And then I'll make the appropriate delivery.
I
will say, if anyone hates a pickle beer more than John, it's probably me.
Nah, well, that's true. That's true. I don't know. I still got to get you to drink them, though. You've never had one yet. You've only had, like, cucumber beer.
I've had cucumber beer. Because I refuse to even touch pickle beer. That's the thing.
Oh, I specifically bought the spicy pickle beer again just for you to bring it to your house.
God.
You're lucky. You are so lucky that I had family who wanted to try that last pickle beer that I hated the worst, that Best Made.
I honestly don't know that I even can, John. my disdain and despise for pickles is that high.
So is mine. I will only have pickles on one thing, and that is tuna. And it has to be, and it's relish. That is the only time I will even, and I'm mixing it with so many other things. That is the only time I will have.
It's loaded with ranch and everything else.
It's loaded with so many other things and a tuna sandwich.
You're on the same level as me, because I will do very, very, very finely diced pickles in a tuna as long as they're not overbearing. And as long as
it's a sweet pickle too. It can't be like the spicy vinegar, dill.
Yep.
But I have noticed most of these are dill flavored, cucumber and dill. They don't actually do pickle. Or that last one I did was pickle juice mixed with beer. Was actually more of like a
shandy kind of thing.
Shandy. Where now the interesting thing with the one that you got is it's a Kolsch, which is more of a type of lager. Where all the other ones were gosés, were salty. So that makes that one interesting. It is a completely different style of beer than all other pickle beers I've ever seen. All the other ones are because they want that saltiness in it, where Kolsch doesn't have salt.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
Thank you, Novella Hub, for the beer. John, why don't you intro your next one, and I'll go grab mine out of the fridge.
All right. So I have Indie Brewing's PA to LA. It is not a red lager. It is an amber lager. So it's basically close enough. So it comes in. I did this on the Tavor. I don't remember. So whatever. There's no percentage. So it's a collaboration beer. Let's take a look here. Looking good. It does look more like a pale ale than a lager, but it doesn't look ultra red or an amber. It actually does look more like an amber. Got a nice gold copper color to it. Oh, that is actually not too bad, at least for the head. So Indie Brewing Company, Los Angeles, California. Interesting. Very pleasant looking.
All right, I am back.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to try this beer since John gave it to me.
What did I give you?
What?
What beer did I give you?
For my birthday this year, you dropped off a beer.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a good beer.
Yeah. Just getting the foil off of it here.
Oh, that's the small one, huh? That is the
12. Yeah.
The 12, yeah. Tweak, right?
Yep. Bingo.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good beer. If you like coffee and stouts.
I've been eyeing this one for a while, and finally I went, you know what? Today's the day.
Well, the nice part about it is that it's only 12 ounces. And it's not a big bomber, where a lot of times, when you buy something that big, it's this big bomber beer.
Yeah.
And is it 12%? I thought it was like 15.
14.7.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
I figured it was going to be right up your alley, because coffee stout, I think it's barrel aged too.
Yeah, barrel aged coffee stout, aged in bourbon barrels. With coffee added, so it's not even like, oh, there's some coffee flavor in here. No, there's actual coffee in here.
Yeah.
So this is Avery Brewing out of Boulder, Colorado. Tweak, annual barrel-aged series, 14.7%.
Yeah. Enjoy that. Yep. Actually, I'm going to be doing a couple. It's funny, you always make fun of me for pumpkin ones, but Avery Becky on the Discord channel got me a hold of their version of their bourbon and rum pumpkin ones.
Nice.
So 14 and like 15% as well.
You know what's funny is the beer is so dark the lettering disappeared.
Nice. That's the quality of the beer.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yes.
You'll still be drinking that during the after party.
Oh, I'm sure I will. It smells like cough syrup, but in the best way possible.
Yes. Yeah, I know. That lettering is like the beer looks darker than the lettering.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. There's a lot to process there.
It's a nice beer.
That is a good beer. And it don't taste like 15% either. Boy, that tastes
like you can drink that. That tastes like a 9 to 10%. Not even that. Like
5 to 10, somewhere right in there. Yeah. This is this does not taste like 15%.
No, it's dangerous. Very dangerous. Actually, this lager is really good too. Like, this is something you'd probably really enjoy. Very nice malty. Very, very actually, it's just pure nice malt. This is a perfect amber. And it's a lager too, but it tastes more just like a nice amber ale. I might actually give you the other can.
Nice.
I don't know.
I do have a couple for you. So.
Okay, I think the percentage is pretty low. I think it's like a 5 or 6. So decent beer, but very, very well everyday drinking type beer.
Yep.
I wouldn't mind having a 6-pack of this.
So Skull looked this up. This gets a 4.39 on Untapped.
Yeah.
I believe it. I'm giving it a 4.5. And that's ice cold. I'm giving it a 4.5.
Honestly, that I would probably like that ice cold. Warm, I think the coffee gets a little harsh.
Does it?
Yeah, you'll probably experience it. But
well, I better not let it get warm then.
Yeah. So, all right. Actually, we got another super chat from
Novella Hub
Morgan.
first, $5. Enjoy the beer. Name is Shako P. I was saying Shakopi. So I was putting the emphasis on the wrong syllable, as my favorite math teacher of all time would say. And then Morgan, $5 donation. Here's a bit for the jar for some Don Diu or some other unibrow stuff. Very cool. Thank you so much. Anyway, you were talking about a 15 terabyte SSD. Yeah, were you not?
So I was talking about like, people overspending on their computers hardware or just computer stuff, just like typical Alienware used to be. And
overspending, I don't understand.
Yeah, right. So Team Group, which I've never heard of them, but okay, you might have, has come out with a 15.36 terabyte SATA SSD.
Aimed at consumers
for the whopping price of $3,990.
Right. So apparently you can finally download all of Call of Duty.
And keep it on one drive.
Right. So this is a brand new SSD. It is a 3D QLC, I believe, is the tech behind it. So
yeah,
aimed at consumer, solidly consumer drive. It's not an SLC or TLC chip even. It's quad level cell, 3D NAND flash, 2.5 inch, 560 megabyte per second, 480 writes. So right in there with where you would expect a SATA 3 drive to be.
Yep.
The drive is rated for up to 2,560 terabytes written, or about 0.15 drive writes per day.
Yeah, that's
so if you write a terabyte, no, that's more than a terabyte. That's almost 2 terabytes per day, which is a lot of cycles. Then you'll be good for 3 years.
3 years,
and that's 2 terabytes written per day for 3 years.
A terabyte and a half. I guess a terabyte and a half. Something like that. I don't know. It's 0.15 drive writes. Whatever that means.
2.304, John.
Yeah. Okay.
2.3. So 2.3 terabytes per day for 3 years. That's the right cycle of the drive.
But there's no warranty given.
Even with full sequential write speed, it would take around 60 to 70 days of continuous writes to go through the warranty, according to the calculations here. So definitely a cool bit of tech, and possibly warranted to be on Linus's holy sequence of videos, because 15 terabytes in a drive it's still a lot of data. Let's not get around that.
Well, yeah, it's now there's a 15.3. Now there is a 16 terabyte version that someone came out with that's only $299. So that's by Nimbus Data. So that was at the very bottom. So that was kind of interesting, but they didn't give any specs on that one as well.
That one is an Enterprise 3.5 inch drive.
Oh, okay. So Enterprise 3.5. So this is a 2.5. Okay.
Right, and this is 64 terabytes. That was the Nimbus drive.
Oh, it says 16 terabytes.
They have a 16? The only link I saw at the bottom was the 3.5, 64.
Oh, the 16 terabyte version of that drive is only $299, a lot cheaper. Okay, maybe something. I might be reading something different then. All right.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's 15 terabytes in 2.5-inch cartridge. I mean, God, that's insane. What was it? We were probably in high school and we were like 500 gigs. Yeah, 1 terabyte, and it was like 4 drives.
Right. So the machine that I built in 2009 was an i7-920 Nehalem CPU. It was an X58 classified board from EVGA. It was dual 9800 GTX Plus graphics cards, which I've talked were kind of the titans of the day. They were $480 a piece. I also had dual 300 gigabyte Velociraptors for my boot disk, and I had 3 1 terabyte Western Digital Blacks in a RAID 5.
Yeah.
So I had 2 terabytes of usable space for game storage and whatnot, and for quick loading. SSDs were barely even a figment in our imagination. They were 16 gigs, 32 gigs maybe.
They weren't even an operating system.
You could barely load an OS on them, especially because it was Vista at the time. But those drives cost me easily $200 a piece. Those 1 terabyte Western Digital Blacks, because 500 and sometimes 640 were kind of the going rates for that day. The 2009 Mac Pro shipped with a 640 gig drive. So yeah, it was a weird time when you were trying to get a lot of storage crammed into a single PC. And now we're talking about, 2 terabyte SSDs being the same price that I paid for a 1 terabyte spinning disk in 2009.
I know, it's ridiculous. And then we got NVMe's of just 1 terabytes that are like, what, $100
bucks? $100? Yeah.
So it's just like, oh my God. Because I just remember even 2009 would even be like college level age for us. And then, but high school of just.
I was already out of college, but.
Whatever. That would have been 2008 then for, I didn't go to college, so whatever. But high school would have been early 2000s for us.
Yeah.
And building a PC in 2002, 2003, and imagine having even a terabyte in your system,
right,
was just unheard of.
Right. 80 gigs was kind of the going rate.
Yeah, you were like, I have 125 gigs. You're like, I'm rocking it.
Right.
I got a 50 gig OS system and 125 gig storage capacity. Yeah, I'm flexing some muscle here.
Yeah. 40s were very much still the regular, included in a lot of pre-box systems back then. So yeah, you could get 80s and 120s and sometimes 250s if you were really lucky.
I know.
And wanted to spend that $250. The $1 per gigabyte. We're not talking per terabyte. Right.
Yeah.
$1 per gig.
It is amazing now that I'm finding SD cards that are terabyte and
I have a 256 gigabyte micro SD card. It's the size of my pinky nail.
I know, right? I mean, that's just insane to think.
Yeah. And it was like $40.
Exactly. Yeah, I know. I mean, you sit there like, oh, it's for a Raspberry Pi or whatever.
I bought it for the Raspberry Pi.
Yeah. It's just like, wow. And the read and write speed is just ridiculous, too, comparative. It's just like, technology is just, and storage capacity, too, it just advanced so far. And
yeah, I think it still has a 75 megabyte per second read and write on it. It's like, holy crap. That's double the performance of my RAID array in 2009.
And so you just said, like, we're spoiled. Honestly, we are so, and then we're like, that's too big. When something's the size of your wrist, and like say a watch, or like I gotta fit how large of a SSD in my watch? That's too big.
Yeah.
We are just, it's ridiculous, and It
if it's thicker than a headphone jack, it doesn't belong in a phone.
Yeah, it blows my mind what sometimes we complain about for our technology to be, but it's also amazing the strides we have come within the past 20 years. and I'm just gonna be blown away in 20 more years. One will probably still be active in a very computer-esque world. You know,
I'll
I
probably
assume.
still be making videos.
Yeah,
in 20
exactly.
years.
We
I hope to
so,
be,
right? Yeah, you know, and
in
so
some capacity.
to be able to then say theoretically go back to this video or your first video in 20 years and review this case or
I don't
build
want to
that
watch
you
my
had.
first video now.
Well, you know what I mean. Like your first, like, oh, here's my first gaming PC build, or not the cheap one, but then be like, I put a 1.5 terabyte drive and a 256, you know, solid state for an OS, and you're just like, that's nothing now. Right. You know, watches. My refrigerator has a bigger hard drive than that. You know,
right.
It's ridiculous. That's the thing, though. With this,
remember when I could only get gigabit down at my house? Oh God! Stone Ages.
Stone Age. Yeah. Oh man, that's it. So my nephew literally complains at like the internet at his grandparents' place for playing Fortnite. And I'm like, you don't even know. You don't know. This is lightning fast compared to when I was your age. I didn't even have internet at your age. How dare you? You don't even know what that beeping annoying sound sounds like. You don't even know what your mom picking the phone up.
Mom, get off the phone. I'm trying to play Warcraft.
You don't even know what the free CDs of 360 hours of free email or internet time in your phone book. You have no idea. You're just click and play, and you're not even playing a game. You're just, I want to put different outfits on my character, and I can't download that fast enough. It's like,
I was on so many different mailing lists early in the 2000s that I don't think I paid for internet for like 6 years.
I had a lot of people that...
Yeah, from like 98 to like 2005, 2006, I don't think I paid for internet. Because I just had free discs for, you know, log in here. And
yeah, I know.
500 hours. Well, that one's expired. Let's pop in another CD.
Pop in another CD. I know. They were everywhere. So, yeah. But, the 15 terabyte, and I know I'll give it even a year. I'll say 1 year from now, I'm going to probably have this exact same conversation with you because some other ridiculous piece of technology is going to come out. I'm like, it's just going to blow my mind from even 5 years from now, 5 years ago. Of 2015. And I'm like, you remember back in 2015? And even then, that was like, well,
Intel was very much the same.
Intel's gonna be like, we got our next chip. It's the X70II XXXXXX. Yeah, it's gonna be great, but it's still on 10 nanometer.
Paul's Hardware sent out a tweet today. I can't wait to benchmark the new Intel logo. Because they debuted a new logo today. It's about the only thing that can shrink down.
Did they shrink it down? I'd be amazed if they made it smaller.
A little bit. Yeah, it's no longer the Intel Swirl. It's now like lowercase and
by 15%. 15%,
something like that. Yeah, they didn't quite make it Moore's Law smaller, but
So yeah, I am actually quite astonished. Especially since we started doing this channel, of all of the tech and taking a step back and remembering stuff back in the day. It's like, oh my gosh, what people probably today take for granted. And
well, look at even the last 3 years. The last 3 years in tech, the highest end consumer chip was 4-core 8-thread. It was the 6700K. Or 7700K had just launched when I started my channel. Ryzen had just launched when I started my channel.
I remember that.
Right.
We were skeptical of that.
Right. We totally were. Ryzen launched... When did Ryzen launch?
It was
2017. That's right. Yeah. So Ryzen had just been announced, and it was launching the same month that I started my channel. It launched in July 2017. So we think about even the changes from then, about the 6700K and the 7700K being the be-all, end-all high-performance SKU on the consumer side of things for $300 for $380 for the CPU. And you think the 980 Ti as the highest end consumer graphics card.
Yeah.
At a whopping $450. You know. And
then now we have something that's $50 more and 50 times the power of that.
Maybe not 50, but 3?
Pretty close.
Easily?
Well, yeah, you know what I meant. I'm just exaggerating.
Right, but in some regard, it may as well be 50. There's been a lot of horsepower that's come along in the last 3 years. And, I mean, Steam is starting to... The average CPU core is starting to trend up towards 6 cores. The average CPU core. It used to be the average was 4-core, 4-thread. And now the average is 6-core, 12-thread. That's the average. And that's happened just in the last 3 years.
Oh, I know. And then you look, it's so interesting now that I'll go and buy PCs for my work and everything. I'm like, oh my gosh. I remember this used to be, this is a decent computer. Right? This was like a top of the line, but then
this was like $900 back in the day. I can get it for 160.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I'm like, oh, this is, for browsing, it's still great. I was like, oh my gosh, that's a steal. Let's buy them all up, guys. But then you go and look at, let me see at the new Ryzen. Oh, it's nowhere near as good as, I get it now.
I like how Jeff is trying to control the hiccups. Shut up. You know how much is in this beer? But yes, the hiccups are a real thing. But yeah, I've actually thought about doing a video on strictly gaming and thinking about doing a top flight gaming PC versus a $200 gaming PC. And what is the difference?
I mean, that would be an interesting. Now, a top flight, I would almost state you'd probably need a middle ground. Or something like that.
I might do a middle ground too. That might be fun to throw in there.
You might need a $599 PC in there.
Yeah.
Or even compare it to, you got your very low it'd be probably like 250 now. 250 computer gaming PC
versus the 650 versus the no budget.
Versus the no budget. It's just unlimited. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
And what is the gap? Is it really worth spending that extra? Okay, I got to double my budget. Am I going to double the value?
Mm-hmm.
Now that middle one, how much of a big leap is that to the Ultra? Will the standard gamer really care? Right. That's the thing. It is going to be, because once you get to that Ultra budget level, that's really, in my mind, it is more of just, that's competitive gaming, or I'm gaming all the time, and I gotta get that extra edge. To where that early $200 one to that $600 one, a lot of people want to know that market, but I still want to know what the ultimate
top is. Right.
What is the top?
But no, and again, this is me coming at it from a little bit different angle. Is I've always been at it from a consumer point. My end goal is to play games.
Yeah.
That's always been my end goal. And if the games play, and if I'm happy with the way they play, I'm happy as a consumer.
Yeah.
Again, I've never lived life on the bleeding edge of gaming tech. I've lived life on the edge of enterprise tech, and good God, there are some fast CPUs over there. But yeah, in the Discord, our Real-Wheel Drive Subi says, would it be all new hardware? $200 seems way too low to play anything made in the last 15 years. Go back in time and watch one of my most regrettable videos ever as far as like videography goes, because I was still figuring out a new set and a new camera. And so I'm sitting in like a chair on the corner of a desk, and I'm just like sitting slouching the whole time. And the whole thing just looks terrible. But the content is really good, because it was taking a off-the-shelf small form factor desktop PC with I think an i5 3570, and pairing it with a GT 1030. So $170 got you a gaming PC.
Yeah, I actually built that PC for someone else.
Right. And And I played GTA 5 at 80 frames per second.
Yeah.
On a $180 PC with a GT 1030.
Yeah,
so it was a brand new card and a used PC.
Yeah, and those PCs are still for sale right now. I think they're like $10 more, but
the PCs are even cheaper now. You can get one of those SFF desktops for $100. Even
really?
Cheaper if you can find them local. Yeah, I was actually at a local recycle yard this last week looking for a small form factor PC because I was going to kind of revisit that video.
I was talking like Amazon-esque.
Oh yeah. No, eBay, Amazon, they're all over the place. And even 4th and 5th gen Intel parts are starting to show up in those.
Yeah.
So but yeah,
no, it's $200 to like it was like 180. You get a very, very reasonable entry level gaming PC,
and it will still play almost every game. And that was kind of the point that I wanted to make in the video is if your end goal is just to play the games, you can play the games on almost anything. They are so scalable these days. And I've even thought about going back and doing like 20 years worth of PCs, going back to 2000 and then 2010 and then 2020, and showing that in 2000, the 2000 PC cannot even touch the games that were built in 2010. They in no way, shape, or form could even dream of running those games.
Yeah.
However, the PCs built in 2010 can still play games in 2020. And so while amazingly enough, we've had all of this extra hardware that's been added on top of, and all this extra performance that we've been getting over the last couple of years, especially, the games themselves scale so well anymore that the PC that I built in 2009 with maybe a little bit of a graphics card adjustment, maybe jumping up to something a little more recent, like a 2013 graphics card. So an i7 920, 4-core, 8-thread, 2.66 gigahertz with 12 gigs of RAM. That can play any game today.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking, your lower settings, but you're still fine. You're playable, enjoyable playable.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it is interesting. I guess that was kind of my point back earlier on when I was trying to make with the 30 graphics cards of now, would it be that maybe hand-me-down computers or dads looking to, like I said, I have two dads right now, and their sons are bored with consoles, and they're stating that they wanted they want a PC. And so one of them, I built that particular PC, or I suggested that PC, and I got $40 for building it. I popped in a graphics card. Give me $40.
Right.
Ta-da! Ta-da! Look at all the hard work I did. I got a whole story about that computer. What ended up happening? Well, you kind of know. But it's a 13-year-old, a 14-year-old. He really enjoyed it. He was like, wow, this is great. I do wonder if possibly that might have been maybe 10%, 20% of their idea of, okay, now we're going to lower the graphics cards. So, the used market's so much now that a 1080 Ti, something like that is going to be that $100, under $100.
That's still going to be $250, $300 easily.
You think so? $300 for a 1080?
1080 Ti. Right now, you can get a 1080 for right around the $200 to $250 mark, depending on which model it is. A 1080 Ti, especially when these new cards launch, and if the benchmarks pan out, which I have it on good authority, those benchmarks are going to pan out.
Okay, yes, but someone was stating that they're already seeing now a 2070 or a 2080 for $200.
I haven't seen that. I've seen a 2080 as low as $399.
Someone was saying they sell for $250 on the chat when we were first talking about it,
and may have been, but no, a 1080 Ti will still compete with a 2080 as far as performance goes, and so 250, 300, maybe. Right in that.
Okay, but even so, they're like a 1070, something around that then.
Yeah, 1070s dropped under $200 last year, and a 1070 is one hell of a graphics card.
But again, but again, okay, we're talking $499 for the latest consoles.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking, you can.
Well, we don't know the price of the latest consoles.
Okay, yeah, we don't, but we're assuming $499, $599 around that price, maybe even more, possibly. But $200, maybe even less, on the market for these 1070s. The people that are like these 14-year-olds that are like, look, yeah, I do want the new consoles, or like all my friends and all these YouTubers are telling me, they're starting to grow up and like, I want a PC. I want this gaming PC. I want that gaming PC experience. Now, maybe with the launch of the new consoles might spike up a little bit, but once they teeter out, say in like a year or so, are they playing the long game of like in the used market? Will they get more PC users in the long run now that prices will just continue to go down?
Well, prices always go down, but again, I will stand by my point that you're not going to convert console users by driving the used price down. That doesn't convert console people.
I guess the only reason I stated that was, like I said, I had 2 people in my office within 2 weeks state me their kids are going away from consoles and wanted a PC.
Right.
And they're wanting a PC, and I recommended to them, one of them, to wait. I said, wait till after the Christmas season, prices will go down. And they said they didn't want to because of their birthdays. And one's dropping $1,000. I was like, on his kid's first PC. I was like, that's a decent setup. You can get a
way nicer than all the PCs I had growing up.
Exactly. Where the other one was like, give me what the 200, what can $200 get me, type of a thing. What 240.
I think it was 1997. I built myself my first 486.
Yeah. So
mowing lawns all summer long.
Yeah. So
back when you could go door to door and offer to mow someone's lawn, and there wasn't 90 different companies in your area that offered the same service and did a better job.
Yeah, I guess that was my only thing. Even like I said, my nephew, that is just he's a Fortniter, but he's like he's wanting a PC. He's wanting a PC for his birthday. He's not and he has a Switch, but he's like, I want a PC because that's where I see all my YouTubers, and he's like 12. He's just like, that's what I see YouTubers use. My boss's son used to be a console guy and an Xbox player. And once he started seeing that all of his YouTube guys, and he's like a 12-year-old, were on PCs for playing Fortnite. He's like, I have to be on a PC. It seems that if a kid gets on a game and that game is on console and PC, it seems to me that eventually they will find that it is better to be on a PC. All the video people on YouTube are just going to be better on a PC.
I agree. Yeah. And actually a big chunk of this, I don't think Nvidia is any way involved in driving people towards PC. I believe Microsoft is the bigger driving force because they have opened up the game store to Windows or to the console Xbox, and the Xbox console and the PC. They are the ones out there trumpeting cross-play compatibility, and you buy it once and you own it in both platforms. And they are doing so many good things for the community right now, and good things just for the gaming community in general. And being open and being welcoming and saying, if you want to come play games, come play games. Give us your $10, $12, $15 a month and play them wherever you want on whatever you want. And quite honestly, that is such a breath of fresh air in the day and age where we're talking about, what other new gaming store am I going to have to download on my PC, and what crappy launcher am I going to have to use to play whatever AAA title bought into an exclusivity agreement to this company.
EA, all these other bull crap.
Yeah, Origin, Ubisoft, Epic, Blizzard, go on and on and on about all the people who don't want to play in Steam Sandbox. And that is by far, in a way, they're right. They don't have to play in Steam Sandbox, but at the same time, Steam isn't exactly asking the world to be able to sell on their platform.
No, yeah, I mean, how many low developers are on Steam?
Right.
How many low end games are on Steam? So many, and and that's where you probably start off with like, oh yes.
I'll note for those in. I'll note for those in chat. They're saying John the PC builder hops in PCs. John builds other people PCs and then comes to me when he wants a PC for himself.
No. They're talking about Fortnite.
Okay.
Because Steve joined the chat not too long ago and said he came in just to rip on me. And then Steve said that no, there's no nephew. It's just me. And I was like, oh yeah, shut up. I build like there's no other in Fortnite.
Yeah.
And so yeah. But yes, no. Honestly, that is true. Also, what Jeff said.
He comes to me to get his own PCs. So
I was like, hey, build me a PC, Jeff.
What's up, man? So you know how I give up every other Wednesday for you?
Yeah.
What's up? I bet you toss a little cheddar my way.
Here's a beer, Jeff. Let's make a video out of it. Let's make a collab video out of this, Jeff. Come on.
The thing that sucks is one time it's an Avery barrel aged tweak. The next time it's a freaking pickle beer.
Yeah. But I am thinking about. Well, I will state. So it was kind of stated earlier on. Bite my bits and everything. If I do anything with it, it's probably going to be like distilled Bud Light Orange. So at least you'll both get the worst of me.
Yeah.
But I do still have some of that distilled Budweiser. Steve had some the other day. He didn't enjoy it, but yeah, there you go.
I knew I respected Steve.
It's not horrible. I mean, it has.
John, I watched the video. You don't have to lie.
It's not horrible. It has some interesting. Yeah, I will say it has some interesting qualities.
Yeah,
it has some interesting qualities. So I have to shoot another one soon.
Yeah,
I was actually supposed to shoot one yesterday, and I didn't. I was too tired. We got one more. It was an interesting since we don't really have any beer news. This is a little bit of just. This isn't really tech. This isn't really anything. This is
right. This is just a story.
A story.
So was this Sunday? Or no, this was Monday. Late Monday.
Late Monday.
So late Monday, an American Airlines flight 1997, radioed into the tower and said, I quote, Tower, American 1997, we just passed a guy in a jetpack. American 1997, okay, thank you. Were they on your left or right side? Off to the left, maybe 300 yards, about our altitude.
Pilot responds, yes.
Right, the pilot responds. Moments later, a JetBlue Airways pilot also radios the LA International Tower and says, we just saw a guy pass us by in a jetpack. So the FBI has opened an official investigation in cooperation with the FAA to find out who the hell is flying over LA International in a jetpack.
Dun, 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 dun. Iron Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna go more Rocketeer.
Oh yeah, no. There was Rocketeer too. Oh well, there's no Rocketeer song to hum.
Yeah.
So
no. It's been way too long since I've seen it. So. Yeah,
I know. Well, someone posted this. I think it was Epos Box. I think posted this on Twitter, and I did the Rocket. There's a scene in Rocket Man where like he salutes the army and then hits his jetpack switch and falls.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, that's the GIF I'm gonna post.
Yeah. Someone is making Iron Man. Prank maybe, North Korea, who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
But within minutes of each other, two pilots reported seeing a jetpack buzz by them at LAX.
Well, actually, yeah, and this was revised today.
Yeah.
And there was a third.
Yeah, there was a third pilot who reported hearing the chatter as well.
No, who reported seeing the guy.
Or reported seeing it. Okay.
Yeah. So there were three confirmed cases Now this was, I believe, during takeoff, so this isn't like
this was Sunday. Final approach at 6:35 p.m. Sunday. So this was on Sunday. Yeah.
So this is still not super high altitude, but high enough. And jetpacks that are modern day have been known to reach that height.
Hold on, I'm going to give Blake credit here. Come on, guys, it's just CJ using cheat codes. Bravo. So yeah, if you are in the Los Angeles area, maybe look towards the skies and see if there's a jetpack flying around.
Yeah.
Who knows? So I don't know if you watched any of Savage Builds, the Adam Savage Discovery reboot, where he was basically just building really cool crap. He made a replica Iron Man suit with a 3D printed metal Iron Man full cosplay setup, but they also set him up with a jetpack so he could fly around as Iron Man.
Oh, I did not see. I saw. I think it was. So I saw he did a katana build of the Kill Bill, and then I think he did like these.
Yeah, that was untested. No, this was actually a Discovery show. It was 10 episodes of a Discovery show that they tried.
Now was that the one where he had like jetpacks on his hands?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I saw that one. Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah. Yeah, because it was two micro jets on each hand, and
there were two jets down the side of each hand, and then a large jetpack as well.
Yeah, and so he got it. I mean, he wasn't like high up there, but he was looked like 2 feet off the ground, and
he was 15, 20 feet off the ground at one point.
Was it?
Yeah, they had him tethered and bungeed and whatnot, but he lifted off quite a bit. But no, there was the guy who owns the jetpack and loaned it to Adam and taught him how to fly. Came flying into the studio on the jetpack. It was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, that's pretty cool. Well, there was actually, did you see? Was it China or wherever? They had a flying car or flying motorcycle.
Japan did a single-seater flying vehicle of some kind.
Vehicle of some kind, yeah. So, and it aimed at the commercial use, obviously not the very first one ever done.
Right.
It's been done since the 80s, I think.
Yeah.
But it was still pretty cool. I don't know if you saw that. It was an interesting flight.
Yeah, I did see that story pop up. I didn't see the video, but yeah, I did glance at the story for a minute.
Yeah, I mean, he guy was just in a warehouse, and it was like, oh, you guys doing a couple out really loud, but right? Also a warehouse. But yeah, it was like, oh, okay, designed to be that the everyday consumer could drive this with the AI and the gyros basically taking over 99% of everything.
Right. Yeah, you giving it general direction and it handling navigation.
So
must sound about like my garage does right now with the air conditioner and blower in it right now.
I wanted to, and I couldn't get home in time, but I wanted to when you're posting your rack and your cooler, and then I was going to film mine. I was like, check out my racks and cooler.
Yep. They cost about the same, ironically enough.
And I was like, man, I should just go and like take 2 shelves out and be like, put a PC in there. Like, Jeff, look at my server build.
This was way easier.
Way easier. I know.
Right.
I got racks. I got cooling. What's your problem?
Yeah. Yep. But no, so I'm running my air-conditioned rack through test runs for the next couple of days using different exhaust methods. Today was exhausting directly into the garage because someone wanted to see what that would do. It did well. It did actually really well. There was an 18-degree differential between ambient temp and what the servers were actually taking in.
Wouldn't that, though, like, say on a really hot day?
Hold on. The problem is that the exhaust from the air conditioner and the servers all heated up the garage more than the outside. And so we got to 94 degrees today. It was 101 in my garage.
Exactly. I mean,
so someone says, why didn't he just blow it back into the garage? And you're already cooling that air, and then it'll just suck it back in and cool it even more. That's not how thermodynamics work.
Well, essentially that. Yeah, because that's how my fridge is doing it.
Right. Yeah. But yeah. But I did end up with an 18-degree differential, which puts my servers back into the safe zone, which is totally mission accomplished. But I'm certainly not done. So the next step is to get the exhaust out of the garage, and then the final step is to exhaust the server outlet as well as the AC out of the garage and see which of the three is the better combination. So that's the next video.
Yeah. Coming soon.
How many of John's brothers did it take to haul his fridge? I think just 2, right?
No, 1.
1. Just Steve?
1. Just Steve. Well, this one has casters.
Oh, nice.
So it's bottom heavy, where my last one was top heavy.
Yeah.
So everything was just so much easier this time.
Nice.
Yeah. No, this one has
sliding door. Are casters just a gift from God?
Oh my gosh, it's so nice. And these are nice, big, heavy duty ones. So I was able to put it on even my driveway where it was like, kind of semi-rough.
Right.
It's like, oh, this rolls so great. I mean, Steve and I were just like, this is like butter compared to the last one.
Well, you watched me with my server rack putting the panels on it. I was one-handing that server in my driveway, and my driveway is not smooth.
Yeah.
And same thing. So my server rack is fully loaded now. I can still move it with one hand if the wheels are down. And it has legs that you can extend down and put it onto legs and balance it. But if I need to move that thing, it's just undo the 4 bolts, and all of a sudden it's on casters, and I can haul the entire 42U wherever I want it.
Oh yeah, no, my fridge is now full of beer. I did it all, finished it finally last night.
Yeah.
I can still just, I need to get back to the panel.
Right.
It's one-handed.
Yeah.
It's so nice. Oh, it's so nice.
Skull wants to know when the new marquee is coming in for your fridge. So I do know a guy with a vinyl cutter if you need graphics.
No, I got graphics.
I got graphics, so, okay.
I have the ability to get them for me. My company does this. Actually, they told me like, oh yeah, we do this for so many other companies. So I have to get a design. Yeah. Now, Malbeth and a couple other people said they wanted to submit designs for me. And so if anyone on the Discord would like to submit designs, I am open to seeing them. So, and the fact that I might even be able to do 2 or if I get a couple, it's just plexiglass and it's not super big. If anyone wants dimensions, I can do that. But you have to join Jeff's Discord to get that opportunity. And to do that is a minimum of at least $1. The link for that Discord is in the description in this video below. So go ahead and click that and join the Discord. And while you're there giving me designs, there are so many other channels in there. There's just the regular chat. There's a specific Talking Heads chat area. There is a food and beverage chat. There is a let's just throw some memes out there, meme wars area, funny stuff. There's a music. There is a TV and movie, cars. There's a build. We're doing live tutorials now. We have other Patreons, not even us. Other Patreons are giving live tutorials of like soldering classes and other type of classes, trade and sales, networking, all specific channels. You kind of have to know a little bit of Star Trek to get it, but descriptions on every channel, so you'll know a little bit of navigation. Just click on every channel.
Might be a little bit of a theme going on.
Yeah. Just click every channel, and then there's a description of what everything is. But it's so easy. It's one of the best Discords you'll ever be. The most interactive. It's constantly growing. Way better than any other YouTube tech Discord channels, especially ones that drink Bud Light or Bud Light Orange. Way better than theirs.
Screw those guys.
All they do is just videos on like, hey guys, I'm redoing my garage. And this is how we put up drywall. That's not tech.
Here's the wrong way to put up drywall and install insulation.
Exactly.
Whereas you come to my channel and you find out the wrong way to duct an air conditioner built into your rack. So,
but at least that's into your rack, not your actual wall.
Right.
It's like, here's drywall and Plex.
Mine did not affect my home value at all. How's that?
So do that.
Anyway, yeah, links down in the description. Also go over and check out John's channel at Hops and Brews. Follow him on Twitter. Get a hold of him on YouTube. Subscribe, whatever the thing is. go watch his videos. It's good stuff. If you like the beer content on the show, you'll find that and more over on John's channel. Definitely join the Discord. Great community growing over there. Lots and lots of fun. You'll get behind the scenes access to myself. You'll see upcoming builds. You can ask questions. You can get advice. You can show off your build. You can do whatever you want. It's a great time. John, anything else to plug? Anything else going on?
Someone said on the chat, Jeff has a nice rack, and I want to petition a V-neck for your rack.
Well, it's got the cloud LED on it. What more do you want? By the way, I someone on Reddit posted that they bought that cloud LED marquee for their home server rack, and I went, I have to have one of those. So I spent $11 on that this week, and it's one of the best $11 purchases I've ever made because it looks amazing on there. I saw the Reddit post and went, I'm buying one.
I'll buy one. I'm getting that. That's a good post. Yeah, I'll do that.
So credit where credit's due. I found it on Reddit. But anyway, thank you guys so much for joining us for episode 148 here on Talking Heads, your once weekly live show for the latest in beer and tech news. Join us every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Pacific time. And as always, we'll see you next week.
Hey guys, remember Wolf? Yep. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.